Yo, 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 welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, it's just Darcy here.
And this is Big Geek Umar. How y'all doing today?
Fantastic.
We
Chilling,
back,
yo.
y'all?
I'm chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, we back. We back.
Yeah. We were actually gone last week due to a birthday in the house.
Celebration.
It's a birthday celebration, yo.
Yeah, I'm
Birthday
sorry.
happy belated, yo.
But I'm keeping all our fans from watching the old podcast here because I was just turning into an old man 3 weeks away from dust. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good. It's all good, man.
We needed to be the Geeky Bros outside of our podcast.
Fair. Yeah, it was just good to get out, man. Like we haven't really. Well, actually, we went on a couple of movies. But we haven't like gone out in a while, man. So it was really good to just kind of kick it with you guys for a bit,
Yeah.
I don't think we did the same thing since last year at my last birthday.
Yeah.
Which why is it always mine? But I honestly I was thinking about that. I'm like, yo, I don't think we've been out since the last time we went to like that Chinese spot.
Yeah, no, true.
No,
we stayed in for mine, so
true. Yeah. Timing. Lockdowns.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Yeah, man.
Well, Umar, what's going on?
Okay. Well, we got a lot of geeky news to cover because shit just keeps coming in when it comes to the things we want to talk about. So that's good. That means we've got a lot to talk about. But let's jump right in. Okay. So first thing, it turns out that the positive response to Snyder Cuts of Justice League has potentially given rise to an Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, which we have talked about before on the podcast. The only difference is the conversation was like dead. Like no one, like from last thing we heard, it was saying that it was never going to happen. And the conversation has come back, and now they're saying that like sometime in 2022, an Ayer cut will be coming back for Suicide Squad. Now, I have my thoughts about this, but right now I kind of want to know what your thoughts are, especially you, Darcy. So let's go with you first.
I knew you were coming to me because I'm the most excited for this. And first off, I got to call out the fact that it looked like you struggled with the word positive when you were saying about the Zack Snyder cut. He was like, mostly
I was
positive. Positive. He's like, you don't like that at all. Yeah, I'm super excited for this. First off, I think it's just money talks, right? So I think that like AT&T or whatever who own WB, but then Discovery's buying them, whatever. I think when you look at like, okay, so Zack Snyder required money to finish, but apparently there was a cut of this ready to go. And then they just said like, oh, let's just change it. So I think that like really they probably don't have that much work to do in comparison to the Zack Snyder cut to release this one. So at the end of the day, I think that they're like, hey, we put on HBO Max. We already have most of the property done. Probably only takes a few million to finish this up. Or maybe even less because maybe they have everything. They just need to go back in the editing room and just put everything back together the way that it was. So, and then you release it. So if there's an audience for it and the product's pretty much already done, like you might as well put it out there because there's money to be made there from their perspective. And I'm excited because one, the original is complete trash. And we like, I don't think Ayer is going to be anywhere near that bad. And like, I've watched videos on YouTube that talk about like how bad the original theatrical release was and how much there is stuff that like, if you actually analyze it, the scenes literally look out of order, which we all knew that, but there's so much story that could be fleshed out and told differently and so much character development that clearly was just cut out that I think that, we're going to get a dramatically different take and I'm excited to see it. And honestly, if it hits at least a 7, like, it's solid. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where it's going to land. I don't know if it's going to be as good as James Gunn because I think they're going to be dramatically different tones, but hey, anything more to just put the old one to bed. You know what I'm saying? So let's go.
How about UT?
Yo, I feel like they're desperately trying to make this suicide thing work, man. Like it didn't work the first time around. And as good as James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie was, it didn't fan well with the general public. And now now we're hearing about this and how the Ayer cut is going to be released. So it's kind of like I'm interested, but I'm kind of at the same token, I'm kind of like, okay, well, it's like Mean Girls and like trying to make fetch happen. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know, man. I just don't know if this is the move. Part of me is kind of like, okay, we've been there, we've done that. Like I'm not as hyped for it as I was with Justice League, all because with Justice League, as bad as the first rendition was, there was enough there for me to be like, okay, we deserve a better movie, right? I can say the same thing about Suicide Squad, but we've already kind of got that with James Gunn's version, right? So the only thing that really kind of has me intrigued, and by like a dick hair, is like what they did, because they left a lot of stuff regarding Joker off the cutting room floor, right? So I'm kind of curious where they were gonna go with that, even though I do not like this version of Joker at all. So that kind of has me curious. But if they end up doing this, then what I would actually like to see is them kind of, I doubt this is actually going to happen, but it seems like it's getting the ball rolling. It might create a trend. And if so, I think we deserve to see a Fantastic Four cut, like the original cut from like the who directed that one or part of that one?
Josh Trank?
The part that was good. Like the first half was really, really good. And I think you and Darcy, you and I were in agreement in terms of like, we didn't, like when we first went in, we were watching the movie, we went in expecting the movie to be trash because that's what we had heard. And then, you know, I remember for myself, I was watching the movie and I was like, yo, this is actually kind of good. I don't know what people are talking about. And then it gets to that one year later mark. And then it kind of just goes downhill from there. And you're like, oh, okay, I fucking understand that now. So
it went from downhill. It was a cliff. It was just like, man, we're just dropping it. We'll just drop this shit right here.
They skydove with no parachute and just like, yo, Jesus, take the wheel. So it was kind of like
the first half of the movie was like when in like Oliver Queen fighting Ra's al Ghul, and then the second half was him kicking him right off the cliff.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So I want to see the second half, like whatever happened to the second half of that. That's what I want to see for that movie, because I feel like there was good stuff there and they were building up to something and then they just didn't hit the mark. So if this starts to kind of create a trend, then I would love to see them revisit that if they are going to do Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad. But aside from that, I mean, I don't care.
Also, I want to point out that, like, so just for audiences, just to let you know, we three went to go see that with a couple of my other friends for my birthday. It was the only movie out on my birthday, and we're like, I mean, like, what else are we going to do? Mm-hmm. And then all of us were watching it together, and we're kind of like all just like looking at each other. We're like, this isn't that bad. And then all of us just went quiet for the last half of the film. We're just like,
worst birthday ever.
you know when you could tell when they switch directors, or like when something goes bad, when a movie is not setting up pace for a 1 year later like screenshot. You're like, oh no, this is not good. It's like, yo, who let someone's like cousin in here to finish this film? What the hell happened?
We got a comment from Ron R saying low expectations equals high results ... hopefully ? Yeah, I kind of, that's what I tried to do with these types of movies. Like I had low expectations for Justice League. They were met. It just, what makes me upset is the fact that everyone else just had significantly higher results than I did. But then again, I'm an outlier, and I've come to accept that about myself.
Yeah,
because the original one was trash, guys. So it was like, there's no way you can go downhill from that. Like,
true.
It was like the worst film ever released.
Yeah.
I would argue that Batman and Robin was worse.
It's on the list, is what I'm saying. Okay, like at minimum, there is a top 10 list of like bad films, like worst films ever made, and yeah, that first theatrical cut is on that list. And there's a few other. There aren't superheroes, but there's some. One thing I want to say, Tactix, though, to your Fantastic Four thing, I do want to see that cut, but I also don't want to see that cut. I want to see that cut as in I really want to see what the creative vision was 100%. I've always wanted to see it since it released. I don't want to see it because, one, I just would worry that they'd be like, well, I know they bought them out and it's their property now, but I kind of worry that it'd be like somehow bringing back the original whoever owned it before. But yeah, I just don't think like Disney will ever release that because it was completely made under.
They're never going to do it.
Yeah, it's under a completely different house. But with the Ayer cut, I mean, I'm glad.
Said the same thing about the Justice League, yo. We said that the Snyder cut was never getting released.
But this is a different situation because think of it this way: DC with the Snyder cut made a better film out of it. This Suicide Squad potentially could make a better film out of this. With the Fantastic Four, it's for MCU. They want to bury the fact that this movie ever existed, and if they could, they probably would try to set it on fire so no one will ever know that it exists, because they're going to make their own Fantastic Four of the MCU with Kevin Feige in charge. Trust me, they are never going to make a director's version of that film.
I get what you're saying. I feel like it's a lost opportunity. I feel like there was a good movie in there somewhere, and it just got lost in the second half, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, when clearly somebody else took over.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, and in line with our discussion about the MCU and also things that the DC or Marvel will do, or sorry, Disney or Marvel will do. We have discussed the breakdown of a relationship between Scarlett Johansson and Disney, particularly in regards to Black Widow. Ooh, that's a great shot.
Damn. That's like a what if right there.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse's Thanos.
Yo, I mean, true to reality, I'm more worried for Mickey in this situation.
Yeah. So, nonetheless, news has been circulating quite widely as that this has been a very big dispute. And now, as of yesterday, news has been circulating quite quickly, and I think on both people's sides, that there has been a settlement between Disney and Scarlett Johansson regarding the Black Widow film. I am not surprised by this because, frankly, this is bad press for Disney. And like everyone thinks that she's like small potatoes and they could crush her, but in reality, seeing as how this has already changed the way Disney is going to release films on Disney Plus and also put them in theaters during the fourth wave or COVID times, they were in a losing streak, especially when Kevin Feige was supporting ScarJo. So nonetheless, I want to get your point of view on this, guys. Tactix, your thoughts.
To be honest, I don't have much to say. Fuck Disney and that bitch ass mouse, man. I'm glad that they finally came to an agreement and that she is getting the respect that she deserves. Yeah, that's about it, man. I don't side with Disney at all in this. I think this was a punk move on their part.
Amen.
And ScarJo is one of the OGs like in the MCU as far as her character goes, you know what I mean? Like, for them to do this bullshit is uncalled for, and I'm just glad it got settled quickly, and ScarJo came out on top. So yeah, man, that's it for me.
Darcy?
I'll disagree on the quickly. That shit should have been solved a long time ago before we heard of it, but immediately after we heard of it too. But I was surprised when you said like F Disney and the mouse. I'm like, and the mouse, like,
and the mouse, bro, and the mouse.
I'm like, what did Mickey do? Okay, he just getting a bad rap
Mickey,
here. I mean, this is just bad business. Like, let me put this out here. Like, I'm the kind of person where I'm like, when I go to like say hire somebody for something, I don't go around like trying to get discounts and stuff like that. I'm like, what's your rate? You know, can I afford it and can I not afford it? Make an agreement, pay your agreements. I learned from a mentor years ago, you know, she owned this business and she said like he was in textiles, like making clothing. And it was like, you know, she always paid her suppliers early for two reasons. One, you get a discount, like of 10% usually. But two, you get preferential treatment, right? And everybody else always wants to pay 60, 90 days late, and then they don't get that preferential treatment. And so I'm just of the mindset, like, take care of the money part of the business. Yeah, absolutely. You guys go like, favorite, and all that stuff. Take care of the money side of the business, keep the people happy, and things will go well. Like, that was poor business. Like, you had a contract, you decide to go against that contract, and I totally get the move of putting out in Disney Plus. Whether that's a good move or not, I understand why they would make that decision.
Yeah.
You know, but take care of the agreements that you have. Find a way to settle that, because the real problem here, okay, bad press, it looks bad, okay, cool, whatever. At the end of the day, we're still going to watch the films. The real problem is, does it turn the important creatives away from coming to other work because the business isn't good in the mouse house, right? You know, if you're Kevin Feige, start looking other directions. If your Russo brothers start looking other directions. If your big actors start looking other directions because they don't think they're going to get paid, I mean, like, MC will fall apart, because it doesn't matter that everybody wants to be on there, you know, because the stories are great. You know, they won't go if they ain't gonna get paid to do the work. So it's just stupid. So good, and hopefully we don't see more problems in the future, because faith is a little shook, you know.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, like, just a couple things based on what you guys said. Firstly, Tactix. Just a bit of it for the audience's information. I got Tactix to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, and when it came to the season finale of season 2, and Zuko did the thing that we all were very disappointed that he did, I checked in with Tactix to see how he was doing, and he was like, "Yo, this guy's dead to me." And I feel he held that until the absolute series finale, like all through season 3, even when Zuko was like, "Yo, I messed up." T was like, "No, this guy's dead to me." I feel you're doing this to Mickey Mouse right now, man.
Bro, I hold mad grudges, yo. I hold mad grudges. Like,
but it's Mickey.
I don't give a fuck. What has Mickey ever done for me? I've never been to Disney World. Them prices are way too high, yo. Preventing me from going to Disney World. So fuck him, yo. Fuck him. Fuck Pluto. Fuck all the. I do like Goofy. Goofy's cool with me.
Okay.
Goofy movie.
Okay, respect.
One of the best movies out there, yo.
Hands down, that movie.
100%. Powerline, bro. But I digress. But fuck me.
Man. Yo.
Okay. So before we move on, finally I wanted to say that kind of going, like, I completely agree with everything both of you said. It is also like Darcy, like when you were saying like this should have been resolved quickly, I'm like, yeah, this should have been resolved quickly. The worst part is this was Marvel, or I should say Disney, was the slowest to do a female-led film, which was Captain Marvel. This was the first time Marvel was going to release like a potentially renowned and beloved film, which everyone has been asking for since Phase 2, and they fucked this up. And then fucked over the main, as like Tactix was saying, OG member of the Avengers. Also, the only female OG member of the Avengers. Disney. What the fuck were you thinking?
Yep. Slow to get it out there, quick to screw it up.
Yeah. So Ron R is saying they are in a position that they can show actual change and treat their workers better. Set an example for the movie industry. And honestly, I'm disappointed. Amen.
Yeah.
And this is the company that gave us Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and also Shang-Chi. And this is how they're going to do Black Widow? All right. Moving on. And speaking of Shang-Chi, we've already discussed it in our so spoilers. If you haven't seen Shang-Chi, Cover your ears. For all of you who've heard or seen our review of Shang-Chi, here we go. You know how I was complaining that one of the main things I hated about the film was that they killed Tony Leung? Well, rumor has it that Tony Leung may actually have a future in the MCU. We don't know what that is. We don't know if it's going to be some flashback movie. Oh my god, if they do a Mandarin movie with Tony Leung, with him.
So
I don't want to. I don't want to see another villain movie. Fuck, man, I'm tired of this, yo.
But is he a villain though?
He does abuse his kids. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, fair. But I mean, I could see. I mean, I don't know if I want an origin film of like the Mandarin, unless it truly like is doing something amazing for the MCU in terms of opening things up by going backwards and showing you things that you didn't know. But yeah, no, I don't think I want to see that.
To be honest, like I think it will have to do with the 10 rings and also how he got the 10 rings. So like, and also whoever sent the 10 rings. Like I think whenever they're going to go to that point, they're going to get Tony Leung to come back.
Yeah, I'd rather that just be part of another film. You know what I'm saying? Not a whole film to itself. I feel like that'd be a long film.
Also, like get some flashback. Like for Shang-Chi 2, if they ever do a Shang-Chi 2, which they have to, I want them to have some more flashbacks with like Tony Leung. Just give me more Tony Leung. That's all I'm saying, Disney.
Yeah, I'm game to see him show up more, but it just has to be in the context of something else.
How about you, T? What do you think about this?
Well, okay, just to backtrack for a second, and I hope this doesn't come off at all racist. If it does, then cancel culture, chill out. You
both
said,
of our eyes just like what?
But okay,
I'm so nervous.
No, it's not that bad. But you said okay, so he abused his kids, right? Darcy, I think, can speak to this a little bit more on account of his woman. But is it really abuse, or is it just like the culture? If you know what I'm saying. Like, is he just a regular like? Because he didn't come off very like super like
any of.
The reason for my question is because he didn't come off like, yeah, he's like, okay, so in the beginning he comes off as like a badass, but then how he treated his kids, it was kind of like the strict disciplinarian dad, and I'm like, I have Asian friends, so I'm used to seeing their dad, like not to that extreme, but like they got some dads that are like, yo, they like, you talk some shit and like you're gonna get a fist in the throat, you know what I mean? Like, so it was kind of like on that shit. So it's like as soon as he started to interact with Shang-Chi and the sister, his villainous role kind of went down for me a little bit.
Okay,
so
he did train he like brutally trained his son to kill people and then sent him out to kill someone.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair. What? But okay, so he's training he's training his kids. I get that. Okay, but the assassin aside, don't. And again, Darcy, you're very silent, so back me up here, please. Don't let me take all this shit for myself, yo. But like, I grew up around a lot of like a lot of my friends were Asian, right? And like, I know that they had really super strict parents in the sense of like, they always like, if the kid brought home like a 99% on a test or whatever, yo, he was getting beat or he was getting severe punishment for that shit. You know what I mean? So like the way that they like raised their kids and like disciplined them was very, very strict. So yeah, obviously my friends didn't grow up to be assassins on account of like how they were brought up by their parents, but the way that they were like tutored and like, the received like punishment from their parents was very, very extreme.
So one, I think that this character, obviously, like we've already identified, is a dramatization in terms of like being extreme in terms of the things he's making his children do. But there's a tone of like the apathetic, stern, you need to work, you need to get things done hard expectations that is a cultural thing that is different in every single family depending on that family's individual beliefs. But obviously a lot of people of certain Asian cultures have parents that are like a lot more stern and stronger on like what their expectations are. A lot of places in the world, a lot of cultures in the world, expect their kids to always like end up in like the top 5 jobs when they grow up. We can all rhyme them off. But yeah,
and look how Shang-Chi turned out, yo.
Bro, I'm just being careful here because I ain't trying to get in trouble either, bro.
No, that's why I'm like, yo, why y'all so quiet, man? Am I talking to myself? Like, y'all just like leaving me hanging out to dry.
I said a pretty safe thing that like Shang-Chi's like the Mandarin was abusive.
Yeah.
That was like a controversial conversation.
I'm not saying like Asians are abusive. I'm just saying like I don't know what I'm forget. Yo, let's move on. Like,
okay, move on. You picking us cancel culture.
Take that foot out your butt. Let's move.
Okay.
I'm excited to see him come back. That's it. Moving on.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so moving on. So there have been some rumors that HBO Max, who is kind of like doing all the DC Warner Brothers releases, is currently in the process of putting together a Supergirl and a Jason Todd TV series on HBO Max. As you can hear from my voice, I'm not a fan of this. Not because I don't want like more female representation. Like, I actually kind of like this character of Supergirl. I'm not a fan of Jason Todd as a character, but I'm like, whatever. Basically, DC don't have a good track record in TV and movies. And I don't want more until they got their act together. And I don't think they got their act together. So I'm not looking forward to these. But I want to know what you guys think. So, Darcy, let's start with you.
I do not give a 2 shits about this at all. I do not want any of this. This feels...
Darcy, you stole Tactix' line.
I know, but I know we're on the same page with this one, okay? Like, this feels like they are 15 steps ahead of where they should be, and they're going to screw it up again. Like, don't get me wrong. I think she's going to kill it. Right? I think that this actor is going to do a good job. I think it's the wrong time for a Supergirl story, unless you're trying to like continue off of what you've already done, right? Like this isn't going to tie into the CW stuff. We know that the Superman and Lois is not going to tie into that at all. So it's like, okay, maybe you could start with Supergirl. Okay, maybe you could tell a story because she leaves Krypton first. Maybe in this universe she actually lands there first, and Superman comes later. Let's say you want to do that. That's not the adjustment that would bug me that much. But Jason Todd fundamentally comes after Batman. And I'm getting a Jason Todd show before I get a correct Batman show. I don't make any sense. Like, this is as bad as us complaining about we have Venom without Spider-Man, right? Now, maybe Marvel's going to like make that something amazing in the next little bit between Sony and Marvel. They're going to figure something out. But how you going to have Jason Todd without establishing Batman and Dick Grayson and all of this stuff, right? Oh, you're just going to be like, oh, we'll figure out a Batman show later. I don't care. Like, you were really going to have to show me something of quality before I want to turn that shit on. No. The only thing I got left in DC at this point, besides Superman and Lois, is Doom Patrol. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck. I seriously
don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
I don't care about this at all. You know my opinion on this bullshit already. Like, I hate everything about this. I don't like derivative characters, right? Like, what are they gonna give us in terms of Supergirl that is any different than Superman, other than the gender? Like, I'm sure you can find some differences, but I'm not all that interested. I mean, like, if I've already seen it before in Superman, I don't need to see it again in another form. Like, it's just not interesting to me. Like, do something new, be different. Just be different. That's it.
I feel
Fuck
like a
Jason Todd.
Supergirl. Okay. First, we got a comment.
Although I will say, so I don't even know who Jason Todd is going to be for the movie or whatever. But for anybody, I know you guys don't watch this, but for anyone who's watching Cobra Kai, this dude, I can't remember his name. He's not bad. I don't know if I see him as Red Hood, but right now in the show, in the Cobra Kai, I think we're in the season 4, and he's kind of a dick. Like he's kind of like I could see him playing Jason Todd in like that. Like he's that dude that you want to hate so much. So yeah, I don't know, but that's still not enough for me to care about this shit. Fuck Jason Todd. Go on.
Okay, so Ron R has something to say. She says, "Can they first actually get their shit together before coming out with more movies?"
Absolutely.
Completely agreed. And to be honest, like I would have been interested in the Supergirl because like Supergirl, yes, they've done a TV series about it, but if they do like another TV series which has a fundamentally different character, or another Supergirl, I would be down for that. Problem is, they don't have their shit together. They don't know what quality is, and they for some reason have such a desperate hard on like beating Marvel that they haven't even bothered to learn how to beat Marvel. Like just throwing content out will not keep you at pace. It's been proven for a while now. Just stop. Anyway, moving on. So, a trailer dropped this past week was something I was looking forward to, and now I'm intrigued more than I thought I would. In fact, I had a feeling that if I saw the trailer, I would lose hope. Now, I am talking, of course, of the Cowboy Bebop live-action TV series. Now, for those of you who don't know who Cowboy Bebop is, do you two know?
I actually started watching a bit of it yesterday.
I didn't start watching a bit of it yesterday.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. You're catching me as a proud papa right now. Anyway, so Cowboy Bebop is an anime that took place in the 90s. It was a one season, I think 25 episode anime. It also had a movie which was kind of like a recap of like some of the big parts of the anime. In my opinion, it is among the best animes I've ever watched. For those of you who are sci-fi fans, it's like an anime version of the TV show Firefly from Joss Whedon. Cursed be his name. Anyway, so this show is a beloved series of mine, and they announced on Netflix that they were going to do a live action. As we've discussed in the podcast before, and general knowledge, when people make live action versions of animes, they do not go well, ever. I can't think of one example, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Anyway, so the trailer for this dropped this past week, and the trailer was in the form of the opening title of the series, which is basically a live-action carbon copy of the anime opening sequence, with the composer coming back since the 90s to do the show's opening sequence theme music. And I gotta say, it gave me chills. Yeah, these guys, like, it's giving me chills. Now, I've gone on for a while. I've given backstory. I've told you as a geek that I am currently intrigued but very scared. But I gotta hear from you guys. T, what are your thoughts?
So I haven't finished the series. I've actually only started the first episode, and I'm only like halfway done. Just because I had school. So from what I've seen so far, it seems interesting. It seems like something I could definitely get into, despite it being sci-fi. You know how I feel about sci-fi. But yeah, it looks interesting. I've heard that it's a really great anime. Actually, there was a female friend of mine actually said that it was a really good anime, and when that's not something that you usually hear from a woman. So that kind of had me intrigued. I'm like, really interesting. So Yeah, so I'm kind of intrigued to check it out, and I like the fact that they're making it into a live action series. I'm trying to actually finish at least half of the anime series, so I can kind of go in with some prior knowledge before checking out the live action series. Um, I'm looking at the picture now, and I just realized that that's the dude from Luke Cage, right? The villain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, cool. I was like, he looks familiar. Anyway, yeah, it looks like a solid cast. I don't really know much about what it's all about. I never watched Firefly. I understand the reference. I kind of understand the gist of it, but yeah, I don't really know where this is going to go. Like from the opening or from the up to the part that I've seen, it looks pretty interesting so far. So yeah, I'm curious.
Okay. Darcy?
Um, since I haven't watched the show, I started watching the trailer, but I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know anything about this, so like I can't get really hyped. I have two questions for you. One is this Netflix live action a movie or a show?
I think it's a show.
If it's a show, I have some hope. If it's a movie, I have no fucking hope at all. because every anime turned into a movie, bro. Death Note, okay, Death Note. Okay, like I'm still mad that I have a friend who's like, "Oh, I actually like that movie," and I was like, "You don't even fucking know how bad that movie is if you have seen the source material." Okay, so if it's a movie, this shit gonna be trash. I'm telling you now. It's good. If the movie is gonna be trash, just I mean, at least I'm not seeing like what I saw for Full Metal Alchemist and their CGI. At least I'm not seeing that so far. Okay. Um, and second of all, the anime, the original, where can I watch that online? Is that on Netflix?
That would be on Funimation, and it's okay. So just to put your mind at ease, it is a television show.
No, I know that one's a television show. I've watched some stuff talking about it because I've watched
No.
videos.
I mean, the live action is going to be television.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a chance. There's a chance that that's gonna be really, really good now. Yeah. So Funimation, that's gonna be hard for me, but because I don't have a Funimation account. But yeah, I might take a look at that. Let me wait to hear a little bit more when I got some time. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay. A comment from our own Macarame. She says, "At this point, I don't care what the source material is. I just want to see any live action anime done well. It is something that's beyond overdue." Amen, girl.
Yeah. We haven't seen one that I can think of done well.
And honestly, Darcy, your response to someone telling you that they actually like Death Note, amen to that too, brother.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, all fairness, they hadn't seen the original source material, so I guess like the fundamental idea that it brings forward is cool.
Yeah.
But you have no idea how much is wrong with that. When you watch the original, like this is like even the Death Note English dub is like almost on par with like the Japanese dub. I think I've only ever watched it in English because I was stupid. But yeah, it's like it's so good. You have no idea. All right, I gotta get off this topic.
Okay. Okay. All right. Moving on. So, some new information released for us. Okay, so people who like Demon Slayer, the anime, please God, do not make a live action of Demon Slayer. Just don't ruin it. Anyway, Demon Slayer, we have been waiting. So, Darcy and I have watched the movie. Specifically, Darcy and I have watched the movie.
Just like said the same thing twice. No new information.
I also see why Tactix is
just disappears. Oh man. Yo,
where are you going? Where are you going?
He's pulling the Batman on us. I guess that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can still hear you giggling, man.
Run and hide, man. Just run and hide. Anyway, so going back to the news, we were given two sets of news this past week. Firstly, that season 2 is about to be released, and it will be released, I believe, on December 5th. It was, December 5th. But we found some additional news, which to be honest, I wasn't too thrilled about because it kind of made me feel, what was the point of me watching the movie? But anyway, the movie, aka Mugen Train, is an arc in the manga, and they turned it into a movie because they felt they could make it into a movie as opposed to making an arc out of a TV series. So now they're making a 7-episode arc for second season. So Mugen Train is going to have 7 episodes. The movie will be broken down into 7 episodes, and then the second season will carry on with the Entertainment District arc, which I'm like, why do we watch the movie then?
So we're getting the same content slowed down?
Yes, and broken up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that shit's amazing, but it's a weird decision.
It was a weird decision. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the movie was out, it made all the money. It literally made all the money. You don't need to make it anyway. So there we are. Tactix. Will you watch the episodes?
I mean, I guess. I mean, so wait, so I don't have to watch the movie? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently not. They're going to make 7 episodes to replace the movie.
Does that make it easier for him?
Okay.
It's like, hey, you could do this in 2 hours, or you could do this in 7, or like 6.5, or whatever it turns out to be.
I don't think that's better.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
oh man.
Or you can do both.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, man.
Well, maybe you can watch the movie, then you can skip those 7 episodes.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and then we're gonna watch it. We're gonna there's gonna be some amazing content in there. You're like, no, you gotta watch episode 3, and you gotta also watch episode 5.
Anyway, so moving on. We
is that it?
That's pretty much it. We got nothing else. It was just an announcement, really.
Yeah.
And also, I wanted to make you feel bad about not watching the movie and lying to
Fair
me.
enough. Moving on. Moving on.
Anyway, so the last bit of geeky news before we go into our topics today is a little bit of an interesting thing that came out yesterday. So there is a rumor that they are trying to make a Nightwing solo film.
Ooh, that's not the slide. Carry on.
We're having technical difficulties and announcing them.
I almost fucked that up.
So the actor who played Aladdin in the
picture. It's so not Nightwing in that photo.
It doesn't help. No,
look here.
Anyway, so the rumor was that Mena Massoud is potentially in talks of playing Dick Grayson / Nightwing. Now, I'm going back to our original topic of Supergirl and Jason Todd. I don't think we should be doing solo films of Nightwing yet. Just, until DC gets its shit together, just like Ronar said, and also the both of you said. But as a Pakistani man, seeing I believe he's Arab, but nonetheless, seeing a fellow brown man being cast as Nightwing.
And Canadian.
Gotta say, this actually, even if they fuck this up, I wouldn't mind the representation. Nonetheless, that's how I feel. What do you guys feel? T, let's start with you this time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it at all. I think it'd be a good change as long as they keep the name. Although it might be kind of hard, considering that Dick Grayson is a very white name. But I mean, you could always there's ways to work around that, like he was, adopted or something like that. But yeah, this dude needs work, man. I haven't seen this dude since Aladdin, and that came out like 20 years ago. That's what it feels like, yo. Because
the original,
I haven't seen his face since, yo. That's all I'm saying, man. It seems so long ago, yo. It just seems so long ago. I haven't seen it. We've seen like the girl who plays Jasmine in a bunch of stuff. Obviously we're gonna see Wilson. Yeah, she was in I mean, not good movies, but she was in the remake of Charlie's Angels. She was also in Power Rangers. I mean, I think
so not
Power
good
Rangers
shit.
came first. Yeah, but like not good shit. But like, I mean, at least she's showing up. This dude can't get any work. There was an article like not like maybe a year or two ago where he was struggling to get work after Aladdin. Meanwhile, Will Smith's kicking it. You know, he's doing all this stuff. He's killing it on Instagram. Naomi, namely whatever her name is like, you know, getting work in shitty movies. And this guy can't even land. He can't even land a cameo role in something like. So yeah, he definitely needs to work. So I mean, as much as I don't really care for a Nightwing movie, I'm for it, and just based off of the representation. I think it'd be cool to see that. And yeah, that's me.
Darcy?
Yeah, I mean, this guy actually kind of looks like these two, like him in the picture in the background, like jawline, all of that. He looks very similar, and you know, it's. I'm curious if it's going to be like it's a Pakistani or it's not a Pakistani, it's a brown representation, or is it that they're just using a brown person and he's playing a white character. That's the one thing I'm also really curious about, because he's like fair enough skin wise and visually, like whatever you do his hair a certain way, and you might not come across as being brown, and then you keep they keep him as white. And I'm not saying they should do that. I'm just saying it's literally possible to do that. If he was like, you know, dark skinned, then clearly you have to incorporate that into his character. And I have no problem with the race. There's nothing inherently specific about Dick Grayson that makes him white, other than, like Tactix said, the unbelievably white name. But outside of that, there's nothing inherent in the character, right? He's smooth, suave. He's kind of like he's a little bit of James Bond mixed with, like, you know, two batons and a train under Batman. You know, in terms of like, he's a little bit smooth to the ladies, not quite as much as James Bond, not as much as like a man's man, but he's I don't know, like everything about his character and his origin story is like, it's just a dude, right? You know, who has this personality. It's not, oh yeah, this person who comes from this particular background. Like what I was saying to you in the group chat is like, if it was Bruce Wayne, it would be very hard. It's very hard to change his race without fundamentally changing his origin story, because, you know, we talked before about him being a black man. It's like, you have to incorporate that. There's no way you can just arguably say that, you know, there was this black family that's uber rich for the last like 300 years in United States, you know, like it's just not believable, you know, through everything that's happened in the United States history. It's just like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, this character, game, do it. I have no problem with it. Just DC, stop fucking up and putting out the side characters before the main characters. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Also, like, just to make a correction, he is Egyptian. Like, his background is Egyptian. And Ron R says, as long as the movie doesn't flop, I feel like that impacts a person's career, and you want to see them flourish. That's true. Aladdin wasn't exactly a big hit. It could be the fact that that's the reason why, like, you know, it wasn't a big hit, that maybe it kind of hit his career. But nonetheless, like, I liked him, and also the way he was like bouncing around in the movie shows he's got the like ability to fake the acrobatic aspects of Nightwing. And Ron R also says, I think he's also Egyptian. So there we are. So
I have a question before you move on. Actually, Darcy, you brought up a good point about how it'd be very difficult to change the race of Bruce Wayne. And I agree with that. But if you had the option, if you could change Bruce Wayne's race, who would you cast as Bruce Wayne?
Are we thinking young Bruce Wayne, or experienced Bruce Wayne, or older Bruce Wayne?
That's a good question. Let's go like seasoned Bruce Wayne. So like he's established as Batman, like maybe year 1, year 2 kind of thing.
But are we asking about the question of fundamentally changing his race, or you want to get down to specifically to the actor
Just the actor.
and in same race?
Same same. No, no, no.
Like
Like
he's still white?
no, he's black. Like like a black actor or like a minority actor in the role of Bruce Wayne. Because you know how like they're doing like Michael B. Jordan, or there was rumors that Michael B. Jordan was going to take on the Superman role. I mean, it's a little bit more fitting considering he's an alien from outer space, so you could technically get away with that. I know it'd be a little bit harder for that same kind of thing to happen with Bruce Wayne, given the character and all of that stuff. But that aside, if just from the swap, like the mix of like Bruce Wayne and Batman, and that the whole duality between the two, like who would you cast as? Did we just lose Umar? Yeah, we just lost Umar. What the heck happened?
Damn, that
This
question was
too real for him. Yeah, it's too real.
Too real. Yo, he's like, yo, Bruce Wayne is a black man. I'm out. I can't do that. Oh, he's gonna come back so mad.
Oh man.
The thing is like, I don't know down to the actor level. I haven't put that much thought into it because like there's a couple people that I'm like, okay, I could kind of feel like I could go that way with them, but then are they an imposing enough figure? Because he also has to be a big person as well, and I haven't put that much depth into it. Like part of me wants to go with like what's his name, Jonathan Washington. Is it? Am I getting his first name right? Denzel's son. But I'm like,
yeah.
But is he imposing enough physically of a figure to take that role? I'm not certain. I guess Umar thought we were done talking about a black Batman decided to come back. Wait, too bad. We're still in the middle of it.
Sorry about that. Look, I don't know what happened with my internet. Sorry about that.
The question was way too real for you, bro. That's what happened.
Like, they talk about black people again? Nah, I'm out.
It's like, you had the wrong podcast.
Ron R took mine. Ron R took mine. I was actually gonna say Idris.
True.
I could kind of just from his whole Luther persona and like what we've seen of him in Suicide Squad, I think he could pull off that suave, Bruce Wayne-esque type of character, but then also switch it up and be a little bit more like of a like imposing force.
So I was thinking Idris at first too, but like I actually was thinking while I was in exile, Sterling K. Brown.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good one too.
That feels better for me. That feels better for me. Yeah,
I can see that.
He goes from Sterling This Is Us to Batman.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I feel like Sterling K. Brown's stronger than Idris. I feel like Idris is a little like he's kind of the obvious one we want to choose, but I kind of feel like you need somebody. Yeah, there's a I feel like Sterling K. Brown can pull more regal, right? Like he can pull more like he came from a family. But yeah, again, if you
aspect,
if you were to make that casting though, you gonna have to really rewrite that origin story because it's like it just doesn't. It's just like and this extremely wealthy black family during slavery. like how did that work? So
multiverse, yo.
Actually, that's an easy cop out though. That's like an easy cop out. It's like we don't have to talk about it because it was a different Earth.
Well, they could be like what happened was like I don't know, like 50 years ago, a Wayne married a black person, and then like it went from like half black to like then marrying more and more black people. Then there's like a little bit of white in them left.
The internet would lose their fucking mind if that happened. 100%. Like,
yeah,
what a guy can dream. A guy can dream.
Yeah. I mean, like, at what point did they do that? Was it how close to the like civil rights movement was that? How opposed? Like it's like how believable that is. I don't know. It starts to feel like you're copping out now. Like everything you try to do to get away from talking about how like he's black and his family was rich for a very long period of time in the United States is a cop-out if you don't rewrite the story and integrate it in some fashion into the fabric of the real world.
Yeah, and Alfred could be played by Martin Luther King, so.
I mean, it's like now we're just like, oh, we're just pulling bullshit, right?
I was just like,
yeah. Malcolm X is his trainer, It's what racist white people think black people want.
All right, moving on. So our one of our main topics for tonight is we're going to be reviewing My Hero Academia Season 5. Now, before I go any further, how far are both of you on Season 5?
Done.
Okay. T?
I think I have like 4 episodes left.
Wait, 4 episodes? Wait, you watched 4 episodes, or you have 4 episodes?
No, I have 4 episodes left.
Okay.
So moving on.
T, you're just making me so proud tonight, man. I'm just like,
it's My Hero.
okay.
What can I say, man? I love this show.
Okay. T, what was the last thing you saw? Just so I have a frame of reference.
Yeah.
The villains are fighting. They're fighting the other corporation or something. I forget what they're called. There's like the guy with the fucking long ass nose.
Yeah.
Are they fighting in the city?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you see any of the villain, like the League of Villains, do anything?
Who was the last like League of Villain fighting in the last episode you saw?
I think I have a photo here. Hold on. This chick.
Oh, okay. So you saw her evolve her ability.
Yes.
Okay,
that was gangster.
Good.
Woo! Okay. That was gangster.
What was her evolution again? I forget.
Basically,
she can use
okay.
her,
So
she can use people's
spoiler
powers.
warning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler warning for people who haven't finished My Hero Academia Season 5. Get on that shit. But also, yeah, like as Tactix said, it's like Darcy said, it's like she's able to take the ability of the person she ingested the blood from. Okay. So I am dying to hear both of yours point of view on this. So like Darcy, let's start with you, man. What did you think of Season 5 of My Hero?
I really enjoyed this season. I mean, I always enjoy every season this show puts out, period. I enjoyed the whole part of like the League of Villains going and like training. Sorry, I was just getting a call and it was distracting me. So the whole idea that like part of the show turned into, instead of My Hero Academia, it was like My Villain Academia. That was really, really dope. I love seeing them involve their powers. And I really, really loved watching Deku. I forgot, I'm horrible with names. So Fire and Ice and Boy Explosions over here. All 3 of them. I'm just trying to move through this quick. Oh, see how bad I am with these names? God damn.
Deku, Todoroki, and Kachan.
Yeah,
I'm calling him Boy Explosion from now on, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's easy. So anyways, I love watching them train with Todoroki's father, and everything they were learning there, and the whole family dynamic. Really, really enjoyed it. I gotta say, everything up to like the second last episode. I think that was a really strong episode. I'm trying to say too much about it because Tax hasn't seen it yet, but there's really dope fighting happening in there, which is not really a spoiler. Dope fighting is what you expect. And I'm looking forward to next season. I'm trying not to talk too much about the last episode, but I will say that the last episode wasn't my favorite last episode of all the last episodes of each season.
Wait, is this like the last episode of the season? Like the season's done?
I'm pretty sure. And I think Umar is gone again. He's like frozen there, not responding. So yeah, I don't think Umar's with us right now.
Yeah, Umar, what you looking at, bro? What you looking at?
Put
All
down
right,
the
I guess he's
Google.
gone. All right, okay.
Well, Tactix, what have you thought so far?
So I remember you guys were talking about it briefly a couple episodes of the podcast a while ago, and I don't know if it was you, Darcy, or if it was Umar. I want Umar. Are you with us? Umar.
I don't see him
Oh,
in the thing. Oh no, it's just a black screen. Damn.
oh, okay. All right, I'm just gonna kick him out. He's gone. All right. Oh, there he is. Nope, he's still all right. Anyway, we got a show to run. So Umar will join us momentarily once he figures out his Wi-Fi or pays his internet connection or pays his internet bill rather.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I don't know if it was you or Umar that said that the first half of the series was kind of slow. I did feel that a little bit, but it was still pretty entertaining. I always enjoy like the trial fights that they have like at school amongst each other. Like that's always kind of
Yeah.
interesting. And there's always some form of evolution that amongst the characters that ends up happening within the fights, and they always end up learning something really pivotal. So I really enjoyed that. And of course, I'll pull it up here. Deku discovers a new power, which is a very important detail. I feel that's going to come up much later, if not, if it hasn't come up already, later on in the season. So that's really interesting, and I love the fact that they're kind of alluding more to the extent of One for All and its power. Like, didn't know that you could access other powers within One for All, which is really really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like
I really
nobody
enjoyed
knew that.
Yeah, I didn't. That's like, I
No,
mean,
but I mean,
unless you.
even what's his name didn't even know. He was just like, wait, what?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I didn't even know
yeah.
that.
All Might, yeah. That caught him off guard. So that was really interesting. I really enjoyed that. I'm not too far into like the villain stuff yet. I'm just kind of like at the beginning stages of it. But so far the arc that's going on with before we move on, I love this episode or this scene
Yeah.
where they have the whole dialogue and like they kind of reveal a little bit more of like the tension between the family here. Great stuff there, great writing, great dialogue there. In regards to this guy though, Edward Multiple Hands is like crazy, yo. Like the fact that like the shit that they kind of alluded to what he did to his parents, but we never actually got to see it. But just the torment.
They're gonna show you. They're going to show you.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's
But
gonna get
like,
intense.
yeah, but like it basically solidifies his reasoning for why he is the way that he is and why he became a villain. Like there's no question about it. This guy is a fucked up individual from his childhood. Like if you can just imagine being in his position, it makes sense why he chose the path that he's on right now. And I feel like, so I guess he's going to be the predecessor to All for One then, right?
You mean successor?
Yeah, successor. Yeah. He's going to be the successor of the.
What I could say without ruining it for you is that like you've already seen a bit of it already, but
yeah, they've alluded to it. I mean,
you get to see like, yes, his backstory is quite disturbing, but also you see just how inherently cruel All for One is, in that he took someone who was going through something and made it significantly worse.
Yeah.
And
preying on his weakness.
Preying on his vulnerability also. So like, no, like I would say like that's what, like, I'm sorry, I missed a lot of what you guys said because of my internet issues, so I apologize for that. So I will be gladly rewatching this episode so I can hear what you get. But yeah, like I would say like one of the things I loved most, like I really was enjoying the season because I see like the team matchup, which was fun, but also I was like, I kind of wanted a little bit more substance. But then I got to see Bakugo be a leader, and I'm just like, every time I think I have this guy pegged, he does something that catches me off guard, and I'm just like, even him as a leader he's an asshole leader, but he's an effective one, and I kind of respect
that shit's kind of his attitude is getting a little played for me though, man. Like I'm like I understand where they're going with it, and they're trying to make him like I think Darcy referenced it last time, like he's kind of like a Vegeta. It's getting a little bit tiresome though. It's kind of like, yo, chill out a little bit, man. Like you're just rude. You're just like this all the time. Like you don't have an off switch at any point. Like even when people are giving you free food, like you're just always a dick. Like chill. So yeah, it's getting a little bit played, but I do agree. Like his leadership, despite him being an asshole, was phenomenal. Like that, the way they took that round was amazing. I love that.
I also really like the fact that like they are talking about the training that these guys have to go on, and like Endeavor like talked about, it's like, you know, you take a step, and then you learn how to take that step. And okay, as we've talked about many times, Tactix is like a personal trainer to both me and Darcy. So like he's teaching me at present, like because I'm working on weights right now that I've never done before, and I'm getting frustrated, like, oh, like, you know, I'm not getting this right. He's like, no man, like you need to get the movements down right. Like that's the first step, and then once you have like the process down, then we're going to like steadily increase the next level, so that like it's going to be second nature to you in terms of like how to do this properly. And then the next thing you do is like the weight stuff, which is kind of what's going to happen, like how Endeavor's training Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku. And I loved seeing that. And then just like Darcy was saying, of what I did hear him say, we go immediately into like the My Villain Academia portion, where we're getting further elaboration on these characters, and like they're finally getting time to flesh out. They're getting time to breathe. They're getting time to even advance and evolve, which Tactix has only just started to see. So yeah, this season actually caught me by surprise with how much I liked it, because like I thought it was going to be like a fun season, but like it turned out to be like a really integral one.
So I know Darcy said he didn't like the last episode. What did you think?
The last episode was kind of like it was meant to be, we're going to be ready for next year sort of thing, which is kind of disappointing, like especially after the magnificence of season 4's finale.
Yeah. It definitely was just like, tune in next year, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Instead of it being, and then the last one was like, oh, my heart. Like, so it's like, it was so the opposite that I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
but would you say it was because of how awesome the last season finale episode was that it kind of, or okay, so would it have been bland either way?
Yes, because the thing is, like, for example, if I were them, I wouldn't have done the last episode. I would have done the second last episode just for the season finale.
Okay.
Yeah,
because that was the one that like really focused in on some truly effed up stuff.
Yeah, and it ends with a very strong last scene. Can't spoil it, obviously, but it ends with a very strong last scene that sets itself up for next season. Like it completely, you could end there and like, oh, cool. The last episode was just, it was more like a filler episode. And it was like, why'd you end on a filler episode?
I honestly, I would have preferred if they had ended on the second last episode, and like the last episode of the season finale was the first episode of next season. Because, you know, yeah, we would have waited a year, but then it's like, hey, here's a recap. Hey, here's all the consequences of everything that happened in the season finale. And hey, now we're going into the rest of the season. This was just kind of like a tune in next year, just like you said.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Does the last episode tie into anything that happens in the second last episode?
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Because I was gonna switch the order and like watch the last episode second last, so that way I end on a high note.
Yeah, you gotta watch it in order.
Yeah. Literally, the very first scene is the end of the very last scene of the other one. So if you did that, you'd be like, how the fuck did we get here?
I was trying to beat the system.
No, you would have just spoiled how the last episode ended for yourself and be like super confused and pissed off.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, okay. Last question before we move on. How would you rate this season in comparison to other seasons? Like, is this among your favorites, or is this like, one of your favorites, or is this among the lowest?
No, I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I think whatever season where Deku fights that. So remember when the villains? So they're at I think they're at like a summer camp or something like that, and then the villains. Season 3, they attack the that area or whatever, and then Deku has to fight that giant bodybuilding type guy. That was
and
my
he goes
favorite.
1,000,000%.
Right, yo, guy, that was my favorite. Yo, that everything after, because I remember that was like that happened like midway in the season, and then everything after that was kind of like, all right, because that was such an epic moment.
Hold up,
and then
T, are you telling me the fight between All Might and All for One?
No, okay, was like no, but that didn't happen until like later on in the season. It didn't happen right after, did it?
Like 5 episodes later, not even.
Okay, so my memory doesn't serve me very correctly. But if that is the same, if you're saying that's the same season, then yeah, definitely season 3 was my favorite then by far.
That's respect. I am actually in agreement with you. Darcy?
I don't rate the seasons in this show, and I mean that as a compliment. I know, I mean, like, for me, this is just one long, amazing, continuous story, and I don't feel too many drops. Like, okay, yeah, I just said I don't love like the last episode as a cliffhanger, but like, because I want a bigger cliffhanger, but at the end, there's nothing wrong with that part of the story. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, where did you cut and decide to continue on? That's all it is for me. I don't rank this show like other shows because it's just like, it's been so fucking good for so long. It's one big story for me, Like, I feel like I'll go back at one point in my life, and it's like, if I ever wanted to go back and rewatch all of Naruto, I won't. But it's like if I really actually want to go back and rewatch a very long show in one, and after it's all said and done, I think this is going to be that show where you can go how many 100 episodes it is when it's done, and it'll just be one long amazing story. And so it's just one to me. It's just one big giant season at this point.
That's fair.
Respect. All right, moving on. Our final topic is we haven't talked about What If in a little bit. So those have been released, and we have seen, what has been released has been episode 7 and episode 8. Now, this image is from episode 7, and I gotta say, well, first of all, have both of you watched both episodes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. I have my opinions on the 2 episodes, but I gotta hear both of your opinions. So, like, Tactix, I'm gonna start with you. What did you think of episodes 7 and 8?
So episode 7 was a lot of fun. It didn't give a whole lot of substance until the end, which caught me off guard, because I was like, all right, this was fun. It was cool to see, Thor and Captain Marvel throw down, but it was kind of like, I felt like I was watching like an animated version of like, maybe not Ferris Bueller, but like one of those like campy kind of comedy type of movies where it's like, oh, mom's coming home soon, I gotta like clean my room before she notices that I had a party or some shit. And then they roll out that end scene kind of thing where Ultron comes out, and I'm like, oh shit. And then I got pissed off because I'm like, oh, well, that's it, that's all we're gonna get. Like, they're not gonna continue from there. And then episode 8 is What If Ultron won? And I was like, oh shit, wait a minute. Okay, so now I'm starting to see how this what if thing is like fleshing out kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that episode 8 was really interesting, and like how Ultron just wrecked shop. Well, first of all, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. I loved how they depicted Hawkeye. Hawkeye had the juice in this episode, man. Like like this is what I'm hoping they give us in the Hawkeye TV series, because they didn't give us any of that in the trailer, and that's why I didn't like the trailer. I'm sure the show is going to be great, but we needed more of Hawkeye styling on people like this. You know what I mean? Like having all the different like arrows that do different shit and everything. Like that was cool. And then the fact that you showcase his fighting ability. I will say though, his sacrifice, Endgame did it better. Just saying, Endgame did it better. It just didn't have the same impact, but I see where they were going with that. So
it was beautiful,
I appreciate the attempt. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, it was a good attempt.
Cinematically, it was a beautiful shot. Is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
And it was a very like it looked like one of those like Greek god kind of
Yeah.
painting, like the
Yeah.
hero sacrifice. I like that
Yeah.
part of it. I like the fact that they just showed us the opposite person sacrificing for the
Yeah,
other.
for
Like
sure,
no matter
for sure,
no matter
for
what
sure.
universe, these two will always sacrifice for each other.
Oh yeah. And that it just goes to show how strong their friendship is, right? So I really like that. What else? What else? I love the part with the Watcher when he's basically he's talking or whatever. He's like he's narrating for the scene or whatever, and then Ultron turns around. He's like, "Who said that?" And then the look on the Watcher's face, like all I'm hearing now is like, how come it feels like somebody's watching me, and it just flips the script kind of thing. I was like, oh shit, like so that was really cool. And then of course the ending. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen it, then sign off now because I'm gonna make reference to the ending where they bring it back. You guys were right; they bring it back to not Captain Strange. Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Captain Strange.
And so they're gonna bring it back to Doctor Strange, and now there's gonna be like a team up. But one thing I will say, I was hoping, I feel like this was a missed opportunity, and maybe I'm the only one who agrees, but at the end, I was hoping that the Watcher would be like, when they were going back and forth, I was hoping the Watcher would say, "I've come to bargain," and then it was just gonna end like that. I was like, come on, man. It was right there. They laid it up and then you didn't take it. So, yeah. But overall, I loved it. I love what they're like. I'm starting to come around to the whole what if series now. I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more because, like I said, it's starting to kind of all connect. Before they were all kind of just one-offs. And I wasn't really interested because it's like, it gets me hyped. I'm on the hype train and then the train doesn't go anywhere. So I'm like, okay, well, it was fun while it lasted, but like, I don't care for it now. But now it seems like they're tying things together really nicely. So yeah, I'm invested.
Darcy?
First off, Umar, how many more episodes are there, or is it done
One.
now? One more. Okay. Yeah. So I figured it had to be one more, but you never know, right? So 7 was fun. But like Tactix said, like there wasn't like much value in it, but it was a fun thing. It was cool to answer the question who's stronger. Yeah, it was enjoyable. And then the very ending. Ironically, I didn't see the ending when I watched the show originally, like the episode. I watched it and for whatever reason I thought it was over and like I didn't see the very, very last piece and I ended up shutting it down. Then when I loaded up today to watch the episode 8, it like picked right up and showed me that. So I saw the Ultron walk in and then went right into the Ultron episodes. I didn't even have a cliffhanger. I was like just back to back for me. So it was nice. But yeah, this episode with Ultron was really good and I'm really happy to by the way, I was so freaking happy for him to like seeing this version of Loki. I love seeing him as like the giant creature he's supposed to be. We never see that. Like we've never seen him.
Person?
No, not even just that. We've never seen him as a giant. Like they're frost giants, and we've never. I don't think I've ever remember seeing him as a frost giant.
He's not supposed to be.
What do you mean?
He's essentially so. Yes, he's from the race of the frost giants, but he's considered a dwarf of a frost giant, and the reason why he looks like human is because he's technically malformed.
No, but when he was born, he was born as a frost giant.
Yes, but like that's what Odin said as a quick line. But he was small for a frost giant, and the thing is, he's actually like how we have like dwarfishness in our society. That's what Loki is to his people.
Yeah, but he's still supposed to be blue, though, right?
Blue, yes, but like in here, he's an actual giant, which is not what he's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, no. I thought you meant like he wasn't supposed to look like this minus his height, obviously.
No, I was referring to like the reason why he's like the stature of a human is because he's dwarf giant.
Gotcha.
But yes, he is supposed to be blue.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, it's just fun seeing him play all the roles that he ever plays, like, and this is fantastic. I was really glad with the last episode in terms of the fight and everything. I'm just mostly happy that two things. One, that they all got connected, and this really makes me feel like the Watcher is going to show up in the movies, right? Like how they interconnected everything. It's like okay, he's just been seeing everything as a cartoon, but then our live action universe is like live action, right? So like it makes the cartoon and live action justifiably connected in the MCU, which also makes me feel like I don't know how the next episode is going to end. Obviously, I feel like they're going to take out Ultron, but like, what if they don't take out Ultron? What if Ultron comes back as a villain in the live action universe from a different multiverse? I'm like, that seems like really intriguing. Like that could be very interesting challenge to face. I don't know, just that seems kind of cool to me. It does feel a little played at the same time, but there's just something like I just never thought of it like that. And I mean, this what if being able to be connected to the live action, if all ends up being true at the end of the day, means every freaking actor can come back with like the easiest fucking explanation ever. But they can write really good stories to bring Steve Rogers back, to bring Iron Man back, for different reasons and different scenes. It's just this could be very, very like what they're doing with the MCU and how they're opening up. I'm more excited for that with the what if, because if it's all interconnected, there's so much that they could start to roll out really, really fast. And not have to, spend 5 films doing what they could maybe do in 1 or 2 films now.
Okay. All right. So like, I'll give my review now. I was not a big fan of episode 7. I have this internal desire of seeing Thor in a dramatic aspect. Like, yes, let there be comedy. Like in Infinity War and Endgame, there was a lot of seriousness there, but there was humor. I'm not a fan of the Taika Waititi style of Thor. I like Taika Waititi and his style of like direction, but not when it comes to Thor. I don't like it as a comedy. So I was actually kind of frustrated a lot during episode 7. The ending, I agree with you, Tactix. I was like, ooh, oh. Episode 8 blew my freaking mind. I watched it like 6 a.m. Just before going to work or getting ready for work. I was eating my bowl of cereal, and like I literally stopped eating my bowl of cereal and just was like, just that shit was. I geeked the fuck out. So like there were geekasms all over the place while watching that episode. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. Geekasms all throughout that episode. Because
saying
you need a girlfriend,
geekasm saying geekasm isn't the problem. It was all over the place. That was the TMI too much information part. It added too much visual to the statement.
Dude, Ultron ate a galaxy. I was like, what the fuck? The Uatu and Ultron got into a Super Saiyan battle throughout the universes and were punching each other through galaxies and timelines. One of them, I think, was actually from Star Wars. And also, like, Thanos was cut in half in 2 seconds. He was made balanced.
I thought they were going to team up, and then he just got sliced in half. And I was like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah. Perfectly balanced he was. And, like,
yeah.
And it made total sense because like everyone, like people online are like, well, why didn't Vision do that? I'm like, first of all, Vision had been stabbed 3 times. Second of all, I mean, Thanos likes to monologue, but like by the time he showed up at Earth, he was already like activating his gauntlet and fighting people. Thirdly, Vision isn't a killing machine. He thinks things out. So like, yeah, he wouldn't kill Thanos immediately before anyone could act. Ultron would, and like this was a true Age of Ultron. This 23-minute episode, or I think 30-minute episode, was more of an Age of Ultron than the Avengers movie Age of Ultron. And I'm just like, and okay, and speaking about like Uatu narrating, when he was like telling Barton to like, dude, it's right there. No, seriously, it's right there. It's in the box. You had the box. Keep looking in the box. And he's like, oh, thank God she looked at the box. I was dying. It was making me like, it's so like, oh my God, everything about this. Like this is what my geeky life is about. And it gave it to me. So yes, episode 8, it just was so good for me. It just was so, I need to take a break.
So why can't he? Why can't he intervene in any of these circumstances?
He took a vow. He took a vow.
Yeah.
But like,
he said
what,
it.
like what's? Yeah, no,
So-
I got that. But what's so significant about this vow? Like, why is that a thing?
So what in the comics has been is that the Watchers and the Celestials have always had a connection. Either it's like a big ass beef, or it's like kind of like how should I put this? Like accomplices. So in the comics, there's like they may have had a war, in which case they decided to like just like the Watchers like, look, the piece is we'll just let you do your shit. We'll just watch, but we will never interfere. In other iterations, the Watchers are actually a little bit more complacent, and they're like, okay, so Celestials impregnate planets. They fuck up with the creatures on the planets to make sure that the planet is never destroyed or overtaken by someone like Galactus. And then the Watchers keep an eye, never interfering, but just keep an eye on the planet until the Celestial egg cracks and the baby Celestial is born. So like, we don't know why this like there hasn't been a stone cold reason why the Watchers just watch. It's just that it's a thing for them to bring in.
Okay.
I gotta say, I love that Uatu went Super Saiyan. That was pretty dope.
It's about time.
Yeah, in the comics, Uatu he interferes a lot. So like this was like his first time. I'm like, okay, it makes sense what he did.
Yeah. So I got quiet over here because I still got stuck on the statement of you saying the Celestials impregnate a planet and then wait for the baby Celestials to be born. I'm just like, that had a really bad image off of that.
Okay, let me put it. They implanted an egg.
Not helping. Not after the first statement. I was
It's
like,
not like they fucked the planet.
That's literally
That's
what I
you
was
made
thinking.
It sound, yeah, that's what you made it sound like.
Like, oh my god, that's a new definition for balls deep. I was like, that's all I could think of since you said it. I was like, damn, it's harsh. I also watching Final Space right now, and they had like a Titan come out, like birth out of a planet, and it was just like, oh, like it's too close, too soon.
So yeah. Anyway, I really, you guys, everyone who's watching, you all know that I really like episode 8.
Yeah. You almost passed out over there after your explanation.
I know. Brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, I had that spoiled for me, unfortunately, on social media. I saw like I had people showing like what if he did that to like real Thanos, like live action, and I was like, oh great, thanks for that, guys. I haven't watched it yet.
You're like, guys, going to hell.
Yeah, it was just the internet, what can you do?
Yeah. Anyway, any final comments before we wrap for tonight, guys?
Nah, not really.
Go back to the last image for a second. So y'all, I think we got a split. I was gonna say it, but then you switched the image.
I'm actually okay to end there.
Okay. Well, everyone, please continue to watch the Geeky Bros podcast. That was your boy Tactix. That was your boy Darcy. And I'm Big Geek Umar. And please like and subscribe. And see you guys next week.
He's flabbergasted.